Here for PHLY, I am Fran Duffy, and I have now gone through all of the film from the Eagles' loss down in Tampa in Week 4, and I did it so that you did not have to. Now, you can join me for my breakdowns over on ALLPHLY.com, but I thought I'd share my notes with you really quickly here before I started writing. We'll start on the offensive side of the football, where a consistent theme has been slow starts for this unit. The only team in the NFL through 4 games to not register a point in the first quarter of games. 3 and outs to start this football game. What happened on those plays? We're going to break those plays down. But honestly, the theme to me was that the Eagles came out and they said, you know what, we don't have A.J. Brown. We don't have Devontae Smith. Let's lean into heavier personnel sets. So you saw multiple backs. You saw multiple tight ends. Lots of different combinations there. And the Eagles just didn't have success. That's the run game and the pass game. They just could not move the ball out of those looks in the first 3 drives and said, you know what, let's scrap that. 4th drive of the game, let's come out in 3 receiver sets and try and move the ball that way. They had some success moving the football down the field through the air and on the ground, and they're able to punch it in to the end zone. But by that point, it's already a 3-score game, and so they're playing from behind, and at that point, they could not protect Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was pressured on nearly a third of his dropbacks in this football game, and so they could not keep him upright. They could not keep him comfortable in the pocket. What went into some of those sacks? What went into some more of those untimely turnovers? We once again saw that as a theme here in this football game. We'll break down a lot of the negative plays for this Eagles offense on those breakdown pieces, but it wasn't all bad. Obviously, we still saw some highlights from our boy Saquon Barkley, Vinny Curry. Saquon, he was excited there in the postgame show for Saquon Barkley. And for good reason. He nearly put the team on his back once again, number 26, with that big run in the 3rd quarter to start the second half. But clearly not enough here, as the Eagles just could not get enough consistency going, both on the ground and through the air in this game. So we'll touch on a lot of that. As soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go start writing that piece. So that should be up shortly on allphly.com. Now, on the defensive side, again, another slow start for that side of the football as well, for that unit. 3 straight drives, the Bucs were able to go downfield and move the ball with ease and put points on the board. Obviously, you had the penalty on the punt return team against Isaiah Rodgers. That set them up for favorable field position, but ultimately you still saw touchdown drive after touchdown drive after touchdown drive for this Bucs offense. And a big reason why, their offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, he basically put on a clinic in terms of using motion to your advantage as an offense. They did an outstanding job of putting their guys in position to create big plays on the move, motion at the snap, creating space, manipulating defenders at the 2nd and 3rd level. They did a masterful job both in the run game and in the pass game of creating those explosive chunk plays for that offense and for Baker Mayfield. The ball came out incredibly fast. And what were the reasons behind that? We'll get into that in my breakdown. Take a look at some of the little things why Baker Mayfield had so much success and was able to be so decisive in this game. A lot of credit to him, some of it to the scheme on both sides of the football, so we'll get into that. Vic Fangio tried to tinker with some things going into this football game. They changed up some of their front looks. We saw Milton Williams lined up as a defensive end at times. Why did they do that? I'll give you my thoughts. Obviously, we'll hear from the coordinator later this week. I'm interested to hear what he says about how he was using his personnel up front. But I thought it was very interesting to see what they tried to do from a personnel standpoint in this football game. But nothing was able to work early on in this game. Tampa Bay was able to move up and down the field. What went into some of those chunk plays? Now, the defense was able to settle in. They saw some pass rush come alive a little bit. You saw some of the coverage was able to get some stops there in the middle part of this game. And as the offense was able to get back in, you really needed a defensive stop. And that's where the 3rd and long issues just continued to pop up for this team. You had the opportunity to get off the field in a 10-point game twice on 3rd and long. We'll get into that sequence there. But obviously the resounding theme was just the missed tackles. And depending on what service you look at, 14, 16, 18 missed tackles for this Eagles defense. And it wasn't just the run game, it was the pass game as well. This was a pivotal part of this football game. So much free yardage given to this Bucs offense because of the Eagles' inability to win one-on-one and get those ball carriers to the ground. And so we'll take a look at some of those pivotal moments from this defense as well. Ultimately, this was a full team loss on both offense and defense. Not enough done for this Eagles team. They now sit at 2-2 going into the bye. They've got to pick up the pieces quickly and figure out what their identity is. As Jalen Hurts said in the postgame press conference, and I think he's spot on there, they need to figure out what their identity is on offense, lean into what they do best. You would do that in any bye week, but certainly when you come off a game like that, you have got to figure out what you're going to lean on as a unit going into the next part of the season, and it's coming quickly. That bye week is going to go by fast for this Eagles team. And so we'll be talking about it all this week here on the PHLY Eagles Show. Make sure you're subscribed right here to this YouTube channel. subscribe, and you won't miss a video that we post. Myself, Bo Wolf, Zach Berman, will be with you this week here on the PHLY Eagles Show.
We all silly like the mayor.